In his book, God is Not Great, Christopher Hitchens takes us on a journey about his take on religion. And he's pretty well establishing his points about how irrational religion often is. A thing he mentions a couple of times, for example, is the thought that all it takes to refute belief systems is by taking them serious and trying to literally make sense of what they actually try to say by going on the religion's line of thought to the very end. He substantiates his take by outlining the history of especially the three Abrahamic belief systems, critical analysis of religious texts, and personal experiences. And he tends to use a very strong language that, from my point of view, believers might take offensive. Which is okay, but just to warn you. He discusses metaphysical claims and the arguments from design, and outlines his personal highlights from Old and New Testament and the Quran. He makes good points on miracles and how they do not prove anything and most often are far from being reliable. But honestly, what I found a bit one-sided and where I could almost feel his bias against religion is the chapters on religion's influence on people's behavior. I mean, he makes very valid points about cruelties caused by religious people all over the world. And when discussing the claims made against secularism, he again shows how religious people behaved or misbehaved, for example, under the Nazi regime in Germany. But what I missed was kind of an acknowledgement of the good that has been done by religion. I mean, there definitely are hospitals and efforts to feed the hungry and so on. So it's not all bad that they are doing. And that's what made me think it's a bit too one-sided, the story that he's telling. This, to me, does not wash away or balance out the harm that is done in the name of religion. Don't get me wrong here, but his take was a bit too partial for my taste. But what I can say is that I really enjoyed the last two chapters where he stood in for rationalism and asked for a new enlightenment, while admonishing to not forget that we have dictators, often backed up by religion, with their hands on weaponry that might bring the Armageddon that many religions await. While admiring his authorial faculties, I found this book to be like a pebble hopping over the huge lake of his chosen topic, religion. He had beautiful citations and himself had some awesome formulations, but it was not as thought-provoking to me as I had hoped for. Still, I learned quite some things, especially about Islam and Eastern religions, but comparing it to, for example, Richard Dawkins' The God Delusion, to me it wasn't up there. But still, it is worthwhile reading. But I would not recommend it as your first book when you start to make up your mind about religion. Okay, I just wanted to share my opinion. That's it for now, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you read the book? Do you plan to read the book? Please share your thoughts and your highlights. And I would like to finish with a quote that I really enjoyed from the book. It's in the second last chapter, The Resistance of the Irrational. He says, all major confrontations of the right to free thought, free speech, and free inquiry have taken the same form, of a religious attempt to assert the literal and limited mind over the ironic and inquiring one. And I think this is it's a good thought, and he hits the nail on the head. And what I really liked about the book, I have to add this before finishing the video, is he introduced the chapters with quotes from other people. And there's one from Gotthold Lessing that I really liked that introduces the last chapter. And I want to give you that quote too. The true value of a man is not determined by his possession, supposed or real, of truth, but rather by his sincere exertion to get to the truth. It is not possession of the truth, but rather the pursuit of truth by which he extends his powers, and in which his ever-growing perfectibility is to be found. Possession makes one passive, indolent, and proud. If God were to hold all truth concealed in his right hand, and in his left only the steady and diligent drive for truth, albeit with the proviso that I would always and forever err in the process, and to offer me the choice, I would, with all humility, take the left hand. Okay, that's it for now. Please share your thoughts. If you have read the book, please tell me what you liked and what you didn't like. Recommend other books that you think are worthwhile reading. And yeah, thank you for listening, and till next time.